Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Enough Talk, the L5R video podcast. I am, as always, the only man to have ever witnessed the Moscow Kotei, Jesse Grabowski.
That's
And
it.
I am joined by the only man in North America who had a annual subscription with door delivery service, I might add, to Charlie Hebdo, Paul Ashman. Paul, how you doing?
I'm very well. And the prices, of course, skyrocketed because nothing says tragedy like urgent capitalism, where it was like, hey, this used to be $99 a year. Now it's like 175 or something. It's always great to see that. It was sort of like how the prices of guns went up immediately after 9/11. There's something very charming about American culture where you see people just like capitalizing, like naked consumerism, sort of being engaged in that way.
Yeah, it's nice. It reminds me of where I'm from, and that
That's right. It really
I
gets you back to your roots.
I travel around the world and I go to these different places where people help each other, people are kind to each other, where
Is it?
governments provide assistance for people, and it's nice to remember there's a different place, there's a better place, there's a place called America.
That's it. Uh, but I'll be honest. It's true. My Charlie Hebdo subscription, I used to carry it around, and it was a great accessory. It would get a lot of questions, and it was really sort of like point out sort of how cool and with it I am. Both that I have this French-speaking thing, and it's satirical and funny, and what a rebel I am because and now everybody's just gonna see it and think I'm some bleeding heart sympathizer or something. I don't know how I feel.
Now, yeah,
It's
I
lost a little bit of its special snowflake status, is what I'm
absolutely.
saying.
Well, of course, the first
Because
problem is that
as a
other people
hipster,
know
you
what it
don't want.
is. No,
Yeah,
I know
that's right.
exactly how it
Exactly
is.
it. Exactly. You don't
I
want
know
people
exactly
not
how
to
it
know
goes.
what it
My
is.
favorite band is. Oh wait, you've heard of them? Never mind.
Exactly. Like it's. So I've lost a little bit of that, but
We'll find you
other
something
people
else.
lost more. So yeah, I'll
We'll
figure
find you
it out.
something else. We'll get you
I'm.
something Turkic.
I was thinking something Russian, but not like Pussy Riot Russia. There's got to be like a Russian political newspaper that's like state sponsored or something, like the
Is
goings
that
on, the
so? But see,
Kremlin.
you're way all over the place though. You know, because Hebdo was extremely left wing, and then now you're jumping back over the right wing. I do like the idea that your political peacocking has absolutely no grounding in reality. Just like let's go find something obscure and run with it, and that's cool.
Absolutely. It's just an accessory, man. It's
It's like
instead of wearing my Gryffindor scarf or my colorful fedora.
That's right. Like you are the political equivalent of Macklemore. Like you go into a thrift
That's
shop,
it.
you buy some stuff. Like what is it? I don't know. I paid 99 cents for it. It looks cool. Get off my back, man.
That's exactly it. I mean, what else would I do with my time and money other than purchase obscure political magazines as conversation starter pieces? Like, what am I
Well,
gonna do? Just say hi to people?
as argument starter
Yeah.
pieces, as it turns out. I've actually seen Paul walk through an extremely liberal college campus carrying the Hebdo issue where the rabbi is pushing the imam in a wheelchair, saying we cannot be mocked. Cover facing out, of course. He's not doing the shameful like you bend
If
under the
people
arm. No,
can't
no.
see it, it's no good.
So this is all just to trigger arguments because as everybody knows, arguing is a skill, and all skills must be practiced and
Correct.
honed.
That's right. Absolutely. And if you don't use it, you lose it, man.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a muscle. It's like going to the gym. You got to make
That's it.
gains. Like you go home
That's
every
it.
day and you have a little journal. You know, oh
Gotta
five. I
to
did. That's right.
escalate to harder and harder arguments. It's easy to argue, the existence of a divine creator, but arguing over the minutia of parliamentary procedure, that takes some practice, man.
Foreign parliamentary procedure, I might
That's
add.
right.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
I love
Well,
that
I
you
felt
like
like
do reps and
parliament is
sets.
intrinsically foreign. Like, come
That's
on.
right. Like I did five argument sets,
That's
four reps of this
got like a
specific rhetorical
calendar.
technique.
Should
Absolutely.
open up some sort of CrossFit type box where it's like people will come in and like, okay, today's argument of the day is
That's right.
go.
Everybody sit down and start arguing. You must slander your opponent using this specific rhetorical technique on this specific topic.
In 5 words or less, describe why this Coke bottle is terrible. Now describe why it's awesome. Go.
Absolutely. And do it 5 times and then take some protein powder and record your gains. All right, so
Okay.
we got something special for you guys. We've been a little off. I've been a little off my game. Paul's been on his game. He's been a posted machine. motivating machine in the background, but I was just in a little bit of a slump, but I'm coming out of it now. I'm shaking off the icicles. I'm feeling good because Kotei season is right around the corner.
Everybody loves the season.
'Tis the season to be into L5R, and so in honor of the fact that everybody's going to care about this game for the next 6 months before we all stop caring about it again, we're going to throw ourselves a little gauntlet, a little January madness, if you will. We're gonna have ourselves
Exactly.
a firefight.
Crossfire!
You get caught up in the. So,
Crossfire.
so here's the deal. We've seeded 8 decks, 8 decks that we feel are the top decks in the top dogs in the format. We're doing Arc right now. If people like this sort of thing, we'll do the Strict too, and
Yep.
maybe even the Extended for you chumps out in Vancouver that are trolling all of us.
Yes. I can't. I feel like the extended thing's gonna get changed. It feels to me like the tournament organizer doesn't know what's happening. If it's really an extended thing though, like I was gonna go that weekend down to Louisiana way to hang out with our buddy Romans, but I might just fly over and do it, man. I wanna see what it is. Like I wanna know what this format can offer.
Yeah, gotta do it, man.
Got it.
Anyway, so we're starting in the middle of the brackets. So I believe these are our
4 and 5
yeah,
seeds?
four and
Yeah.
five seeds. Yeah, the way we did the seedings,
Three
which
and
is all
six,
explained in
maybe.
the article. Everybody go read the
Yep.
article. But I'll say it again really quickly here. We just took the decks that have actually performed and are historical big dogs, our top seeds, and then that's the top half of the bracket. The bottom half of the bracket is our favorite newcomer decks,
Yep.
and
And we kept it to, one representative for our Kage Crane. In a real top eight, you're probably going to have 3 of those, or, 2 lion, 2 square. Like, that's just the way top eights tend to break down. But we wanted to represent deck diversity, so we sort of limited ourselves. We might, if we do another bracket, we might slot in different variations.
and we're gonna play best 2 out of 3 for these. And so there'll be separate videos. So if you only want to watch one horribly tedious match of L5R where me and Paul say horribly tedious things to each other, that's your prerogative. I will judge you, but you can certainly do it. But for the rest of us, the people who actually like to be entertained, here you go. More L5R. And so our first match is going to be my baby, the Ray Sensei deck, against Scorpion Dishonor with kind of a cool Shugenja flavor to it. So Paul, you want to start with yours?
Yeah, Scorpion Dishonor is a pretty known quantity, and I'll point out the things that I think you can't really get away from. You're gonna play 3 Brilliant Cascade Ends. You're gonna play 3 Exquisite Silkworks on the Dynasty side. You're gonna play JPI and Geisha House. You're gonna play Bamboo Oracle County House. Like all that stuff is locked in. I can't imagine any Scorpion Dishonor deck. You could maybe make an argument the environment's getting so fast that you can't afford to play Oracle, but in a deck where Fate card and Dynasty cards become so intrinsic, like this is probably the best Oracle Levoid deck. So I don't think any of that is debatable. And I am filling it out then with Small Time Bully, just because Dishonor effects are a limiting reagent to the success of the build. I have, I think, a little bit more than most, and Small Time Bully is part of that little bit more. Sometimes you'll see here like one Slanderer or Famous Bazaar is an excellent default. This deck has actually come a little bit closer and closer to my Strict Dishonor deck, which is a really interesting thing. Normally you start with an Ivory deck and try to fill it out as close as you can when you move into Strict, whereas I actually really like Scorpion, Dishonor, and Strict. I think it's one of the top decks. I think a lot of people haven't built and played it properly. So this is sort of interesting, sort of working that backwards. I'm filling mine out with the Small Time Bully, 2 Imperial, and that's just for the encircled terrain, and a sort of acknowledgement that 3 encircled terrain is a nice defensive action. It can save your provinces a lot of the time. But invariably your terrains get messed up, especially now. I won't be shocked if the best evolution of Scorpion decks are encircled terrain completely free. But if you're going to play it, then you might as well add in this holding that can give you a little bit of extra value. Samurai Cast Divides for my 1 progressive is pretty straightforward and pretty common. It's not a good send home effect, and if you're relying on it, then you probably have to use your box to name something like Thrill of Daring, and it's pretty hit or miss. But it's been in all my Dishonor decks for a long time. I like the thinning aspect of it. Um, and I like that it can get rid of their allegiance sometimes. So I mean, it's and then Dark Audience is just I've got some number of attachments. It's a free attachment. I like that. So these are all cards of questionable value that can be adjusted, but they're good enough, I think, to be representative of a Dishonor deck, and I've been pretty pleased with them. And personality wise, it's pretty straightforward. I don't think I have the Shugenja sub theme, as you listened to, and that's just because the Shugenja are very good. Secrets on the Wind is an excellent spell, as is Look into the Void, and this lets me do my Walking the Way, Heart of Fudo. That's supposed to be XP2, so that's a mistake that we'll have to change for the other one, but it's the same thing for Gold Flips. I always do that with Untap. It's hilarious. Shizuka and Fyoko and Hotaka are personalities that cause honor loss. And Yamazaki is a guy that you can sort of do some soft control stuff with their Dishonor Bawam. I am playing Shibata Sensei. I don't do a lot with it other than, I mean, you can do cycle stuff. Imperial Summons is my only real favor card. And I'm very happy with the Dynasty. There's a debate about how good the Shugenja stuff is. I'm not going all in on it. There is Touch of Death type builds. I've been very happy with this mix of. I mean, she's a courtier and Shugenja, and so I think I'd probably have her in the deck anyway, just as 5 gold cost courtier, because that's the lowest cost you can play. And she's got a slight upside with secrets, just because. But, could you swap Chaijin for Tomo Damia and maybe back off? You could, but I've been very pleased with this configuration. So, Fate side, progressive rings, Outer Fudo, the spells we talked about, Game of Dice, summons. Relocating the court, you got to save yourself somehow. So I've got the self-sent home effects of 2 relocating, 2 planned departure, and then 3 oppression, 3 strategic withdrawal. So it's very much single guy defends, play one of these actions. I do have the ramifications because of its honor loss. But again, I'm not in love with it. And then Mercantile Conflict because it's very effective. Way of the Scorpion and Grind Rift, just good open. Play these cards, make them lose honor. Nothing out of the ordinary, nothing out of the box. Defends itself not terribly well, but it's a sort of inverse clock kind of deck. It's just about hitting their honor total and getting them low and winning the game.
Rock on. So on my side here, I'm playing the Ray Sensei deck, the deck that I've sort of been in love with for a long time and I've talked about. If you have any questions about it, go and read the forum post. What I'm going to do here, not the forum post, the article. What I'm going to do here, though, is just talk about some changes that I've made. The deck's still super gold light, just because we don't do a lot with it. Like we only commit a few resources to the board. Once you get the Voltron assembled, you don't need to buy any more guys. You just play some of these cheapo spells, and then you're good to go. Sailor's Warning is just a free version of the Dragon's Tail that I was initially playing. That was just like a huge oversight on my part. So 0 is less than 3, so I now play this spell. The big change, I cut the Sorrowful Prayer stuff, so I've just come back to reality here. I just want to play a normal, sane deck that wants to be aggressive, and so on that front I added some Inspired Devotions. That's going to be a +4, +5 on the attack. Lets me generate force a little bit more effectively against honor, dishonor type decks. And then I wanted to try out this Priestly Feud. And I think this could be a really disruptive card early on with Hidden Machinations, which Hidden Machinations is nice. It's just a way to manipulate our deck a little bit more, get a little bit more value out of our box, off of our Strength of the 5th ring sort of draw effects without having to use any Shugenja resources. But then the trait lets us use Priestly Feuds really, really effectively. So as our final action, before they go to Dynasty, we can drop a Priestly Feud and make them attack into one of our final ruins or into one of our Sailor's Warnings, and then kill a guy pretty much for free. Otherwise, the deck is exactly as it has been. I recommend you go check out the article and see what I have to say about it.
Okay.
So let's rock. Let's see what happens.